MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Hello. This is Ramana from MedBix Webcast. Ramana Annamaraju. I'm the host for the MedBix Webcast. Today, I have a very important guest, and my special guest, a good friend, is going to be live soon. He's doing some radio interview right now. So this is going to be, I want to talk a little bit about things about the Silicon Valley and India's connection. India and Silicon Valley are intertwined. There you see, if you see the Google CEO, not only when we came here in the beginning days, all the programmers, on the cubicle sitting down there all over this Silicon Valley. My nephews are here, and my nephews and my nieces, and everybody is here. They were working in cubicles in small places, and they were trying to do a lot of things, startups at the time. And very interesting times. I came in 1990s and 80s, late 80s and 90s. It's a very exciting times here. I came with actually Harold Ford, congressman, to Silicon Valley. He wanted me to explain to him what is the H1B and what are the things goes on in the India. Why Indians are coming such a with a background with technology. I told him a story, particularly they all come from a small region of India, not all in entire India. It went through, now they're coming from entire India, but a small region that where I belong is called Andhra Pradesh. Now it's divided into the two states. It used to be only one state at the time. It's called Andhra and Telangana. Now it's Andhra and Telangana, but now it was Andhra Pradesh, In Andhra Pradesh, what happened was we had a prime chief minister, very energetic. He's an agriculture PhD, doesn't have even technology background, but he had envisioned the technology way ahead of everybody, and then he thought of training people with a small amount of resources he had. At the time, everybody was criticizing him. You're replacing the computers with electricity employees, and they had a big strike. So it was a very tumultuous time, but he took a bold step as a leader. That is important. A leader's quality is to take a bold step and then do the right thing. So he did that. At that time, we had Russian computers. We don't have even any American computers at all. There's no PCs at the time. The Russian computers he took, and then he started training them in the computers slowly, in the PCs. My state became center of India for the excellence in the technology. Hyderabad, that is the capital, is Hyderabad. So a lot of from a small villages, including I'm from a small village, 2,000 population. We all moved to Hyderabad because of the better job situation there, and technology is growing there. And I used to work in a first technology company in India. It's called ECIL, Electronic Corporation of India Limited. There's a private-public partnership that I used to work with. It's very interesting. So that where I learned about microchips, microcomputers, a little bit. I learned punch cards. Russian computers have punch cards. You guys, you don't know what the hardship is. That is a punch card, Van Neumann time. I'm old, but it is a very fascinating times that very fascinating time that punch cards came in. But we learned computers, and so we are the first ones around the world with a skilled labor, with a lot of engineering degrees, and they learned computers. So they came an opportunity. But before that, there was another wave from India came in. That is, the doctors came in first. 1970s and 65 onwards, a lot of doctors came to United States on a visa. They wanted to, because that was one of the toughest ones to come in, because you have to pass through so many exams. as a doctor. And then after coming here, you have to go through residency again. And then fellowship if you want to be a cardiologist or anything like that. It's a very rigorous approach. They were doing that. Um, so that was that one of those doctors is Dr. Romesh Japra. Okay. He came from very humble beginnings. Very he came from I'm going to play a small video about him, and then after that I will ask him questions. So if you don't mind, let me play the video, okay? So I think that is the one. Yes.
I'm Romesh Japra. Welcome to Festival of Globe Fog.
ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, दुल्हन के माथे की बिंदिया, ये मेरा इंडिया, ये मेरा इंडिया, I love my India.
That is not in India, it is in Silicon Valley. He brought India to Silicon Valley when Silicon Valley is no Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was in essence just a collection of sleepy towns and rural communities far removed from the technological powerhouse it would eventually evolve into. Dr. Romesh Japra, hailing from a humble village in India, embarked on a transformative journey that led him to Fremont, California after completing his cardiology training in the US. His arrival marked a significant turning point for the town as he brought forth the rich tapestry of India's traditions, cultures, and festivals, intertwining them seamlessly into the fabric of American life. Despite encountering discrimination and bias, he remained steadfast in his commitment to practicing cardiology. Dr. Japra has been ranked among top 20% doctors in North America with a specialization in cardiovascular disease and internal medicine. He provided care to a diverse diaspora, including individuals from India, China, Russia, and Afghanistan, and many other countries. Understanding the cultural and religious sensitivities of immigrants, he delivered health care with a profound respect, dignity, and unwavering compassion.
I'm Romesh Japra. I'm a cardiologist. Of course, I have long hours. Usually get up 6 o'clock in the morning, get my workout, have a little breakfast, and come to the hospital where usually I have scheduled patients for procedures, surgeries. The procedures mostly I do is cardiac angiograms or catheterizations, and then they may end up with having angioplasty or stenting. Some of the other procedures we do is the pacemakers, defibrillators. Many times we open up the arteries in the kidney arteries, the peripheral, the leg arteries. So these are the kind of
Japra Mahal, a sprawling mansion constructed from imported marble stones from India, stands majestically amidst a 25-acre vineyard in Fremont. Its grandeur is marked by a towering Ganesh statue at the entrance extending warm welcome to visitors. Overlooking the Dumbarton Bridge, which links the towns of Elon Musk's Tesla factory in Fremont and the Silicon Valley investment hub of Menlo Park. Japra Mahal has evolved into a distinguished meeting place for luminaries, diplomats, and entertainers from across the globe. It serves as a hub for a vibrant intellectual discourse and a cultural exchange, fostering connections and collaborations that transcend borders and boundaries. The Festival of Globe, known as a FOG, a non-profit organization, flagship of Dr. Japra, reflects his charismatic, vivacious, and vibrant personality.
We flying high just like a first class flight. Yeah, I'm feeling alright, about to go dynamite. Now go and do your thing, girl. Go and get it started. Go and get it started. I said now get up on the dance floor. Go and get it started. It's a Dr. Japra party. Hey.
So my name is Laura Turner Seidel, and I'm here to help celebrate India Independence Day, and we are having a wonderful day dancing, singing, celebrating. And Dr. Japra is amazing what he's done here.
Move your body right. We keep it rocking till the morning light. Everybody singing now all through the night.
Yeah, we be turning it up. Roof on fire, burning it up. Drop that thing down to the ground while the DJ in the booth straight cutting it up. We on that black label, yeah, that's that desi liquor. Na menu koi nahi parwa, koi nahi tension, koi nahi fikr. Now drop it and shake it and move it. We popping that champagne and feeling the music. We just getting started, the feelings amusing. I'm so used to winning, I don't need the proper one man gang showstopper. Are you feeling sick? I know the doctor. That's Dr. Japra. I'm a king just like Mufasa. We on that Johnny Walker. They gonna
Beyond the superficial allure of prestige lies a deeper and more profound calling, a commitment to serve communities you live in. In the face of uncertainty, Dr. Romesh Japra lights the way for future physicians. Embrace roles beyond healing, be a mentors, friends, activists, coaches, and staunch advocates for the patient's well-being. Dr. Japra embodies the very essence of noble profession, epitomizing the qualities of compassion and leadership that define the doctor. Long live Dr. Japra. Let me bring Japra to the table. Welcome, Dr. Japra. Welcome, Dr. Japra. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, Ramna. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and especially all the whole audiences out there. It's indeed an honor.
I wanted to ask you a couple of, I want to go back all the way back. When India got independence, you were hardly, young age, at the teenager probably. I don't want
No,
to say
I
your
was not
age.
even born.
Uh,
1947. It's been
it's been
almost
what?
75 years. Yeah.
Yes, but when you were, do you remember the post so and then like parents or teachers, who encouraged you to be doctor?
Well, it was my mother. Actually, she's the one who inspired me. I used to play soccer a lot. I was even the captain. I wanted to be a sports person. And she told me that it was just very short life, as an athlete, as a soccer player. And those days, they could only reach to certain stage in life. So she said, you want something which is going to be lot longer lasting, even up to your last breath in your life. You can work as a doctor, and that's kind of profession you want to pick up. So as long as your mental facilities are there. At this age, at 74, I'm still working as a doctor, as a cardiologist. So I think in the end, what she said was so true. And even though my teachers, everybody said, "Oh, you're so good at mathematics and physics, become an IT guy, go into engineering." Those days we used to call it, and basically, what she said, no, the medicine is the way to go, and I've never looked back.
It's a very distant dream for anybody coming to United States. What that distant dream is. You went to tell us a little bit in Indian schools. Where did you go to India school in India?
Well, the medical school, All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi, that's one of the premier institution. And fortunately, they take only 35 students after a couple of 100,000 take exam. It's like a lottery, more or less. But I was lucky to be there, and you get the best education. You're very independent. You interact with your teachers, your professors, and you learn a lot more that way than just the theoretical stuff. So, we were very confident of ourselves, and we could go anywhere in the world. And, taking exam in America and coming over here was pretty easy those days for us.
So All India Institute of Medical Sciences is like a premier institute in India, right? It is like a top of the school. So now we came to the United States. Where did you go to your internal? You did internal medicine residency here, right, Dr. Japra?
That's right. Internal medicine at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. Again, fortunate to be there. Very good place. And then Cleveland Clinic for cardiology. That's almost number one in the world. And I did my fellowship over there.
I want to ask you, to get into Cleveland is a very for non Caucasians anything anyway. Outsiders are very difficult. Non-Americans very difficult. How did you? It is like one of the
I
rarest
know.
chances of becoming. You must be highly qualified to be really. That is an absolute opportunity to work in the Cleveland Clinic. Is like a premier again another premier heart institute in the United States.
Well, it's like, you know me, it's my passion to be in medicine and cardiology. And once they can see and look through, it becomes easier, to be accepted in these premier institutions. So I've been fortunate that way. I've been lucky. So, I can't complain about it. So far, so good.
Yeah, it is extremely good. So you went through all those stuff and then you moved to Fremont, California, and then you didn't practice anywhere else, right? You came straight to the Fremont, California, right?
Yeah, I was
Uh,
at Kaiser in Los Angeles for about a year and then moved here.
oh,
It made me feel like back home. There are cauliflower fields, very,
yeah.
atmosphere is so good. So I came here, and since 79, last 45 years, I've been settled over here.
So tell us a little bit about that the state of the Silicon Valley. Mostly a lot of apple, say the cabbage town, cauliflower town. What is basically agricultural town, right? These are all basically agricultural strawberries and pistachios. They are growing up here, right?
And yeah, those days, but things are changing fast. It's become, the Silicon Valley has grown since then, and especially our city, Fremont, from 70,000 to 150,000 people. And we were just three of us, three Indian doctors those days, right here in Washington Hospital. Now, out of 300, we have 200 Indian doctors. So, our community has grown very well. They love this, they love the weather, they love the atmosphere. We have made Fremont the happiest city for the last 5 years in the whole United States. So our community is so peace loving, easygoing, and non-violent, work hard. So we were very fortunate to have a great community, and we keep growing with it, and then keep making this whole community a happier place to live.
Oh, you did. You're instrumental in that one. You're part of that, making that one of the Fremont town is a bigger town. You know that. Let me ask you: when you came here in the Fremont, when you joined the hospitals, what kind of a hospitals situation that you faced? Is it easier for you, or is it a challenges to practice? What are the challenges you faced here?
Well, in the beginning, like any other place, when you go to a new place and then you are not the part of the majority out there, it's always going to be a challenge. But, clinically or medical practice wise, we had no problem. We come from the best of the institution. We know our things. So that was the easy part to excel. And but at the same time, some of the culture, some of these acceptance part from the community, that does become a challenge. But we love those kind of challenges. And you, rather than complaining from outside, we became the insiders. You're at the hospital also, right from you have to work a lot harder than your counterparts. I became chief of medicine, chief of cardiology, medical director of catheterization lab, then chief of staff, even the secretary. So once you get to that level, then it becomes easy for you to assimilate with everybody else and try to serve the community, serve your patients, be caring. That is one thing which we bring with ourselves beside being having our expertise in medicine. I think being caring for everybody else, have those kind of feelings and emotions for the elderly. Those things go a long way in medicine. and that is one of the main reasons for success for most of physicians from back home in India.
You came 30 years ago. I came to see you. At that time, you had you were doing a catheterization is a relatively new procedure at that time, and I saw you. You mastered. I was watching you. I seen other doctors doing catheterization. Is a big everybody stands. You were so confident, and he went inside and came out in 10 minutes. I was really shocked, how easy you done, and then you loved that profession, and you really dedicated that kind of learning. You're curious in general. That's why you're by nature curious to learn the procedures, all the other things. That's why one of the things is the learning about devices has never been a problem for you. So tell us that journey that into learning these kind of new things, new procedures, ultrasound and all these things. You came in, you embraced all of them with the technology without any hesitation.
Well, absolutely. I think knowledge and learning is one part, but some of the other things, many people are gifted in different things, and unfortunately, everybody cannot do everything. And I've been gifted with eye-hand coordination, where you can think and look at the video, and then just like those games, you can do those things. And if you practice, you have exactly what you're doing. It
Mhm.
becomes very easy. Then with the practice, we do get better and better every time. And some people, like I said, gifted, they can do a lot more, a lot faster and with a lot more in the proper productivity point of view. So I've been that way always with any procedure out there, any surgery out there. Some of us are gifted, and we can do a lot faster than others.
Yeah, you're using the word gifted, that means you're assigning some higher power. Then, you're married and you have children, and I know all of your children, wonderful children. The next thing is you did a community services. Why? You can focus on medicine and make money, hospitals, and more hospitals, more not divert. What inspired you to do the community service? The community is a part of your genes. What inspired you? What who taught you that actually I wanted to serve the community first? That as or anything, all those important is as important as that inspiration for you.
Well, I think again I'll go back to my mother, who of course put me into medicine, and every time from medical school I came back home in a small town, she'll have 20 to 30 people waiting for me to take care of them. And before I could get my breakfast, she'll tell me you have to, go examine them and make sure to advise them and take care of them before I'll give you the breakfast. And I always enjoyed that, that part. So
Yeah.
community service. So when I came here first, and rather than making money, and I've seen a lot of people with a lot of money, but it really doesn't make them happy in the long run. They always think they're missing something. To become a complete person, a happy person, and while enjoying your life at the same time, be helpful to others, and be grateful what you do, and very very gratifying. To For that gratification, you need a lot more than just one thing in your life. So I decided, right from that time when I came to Fremont, that I'm gonna uh, give one third of my life to community service, one third to my family, and one third to the profession. So if you divide it that way, it's never 100% one third, but you try to keep the balance. And if you keep the balance, there's enough money to feed yourself, live happily, and be nice. But at the same time, the gratification you're gonna get from the services, community service, besides medical, other community service, which You know that religiously, I started the Fremont Temple, I did all the festivals, and then now the political empowerment. So I do a lot other things than medicine. I still practice, but I love to do all these other things, and they are as fulfilling as medicine itself.
Let us talk about philosophy a little bit. Karma yogi philosophy. You're always using the word gifted. Somebody given you higher from higher power. What is that connection to the spiritual nature of that process for you? Gifted means that you're saying that I'm a vehicle for something, that I'm a karma yogi. I am an instrument of doing something for the. Tell us that inside of that what that Hindu, that philosophy that you learned, whatever the philosophy you could call Hindu, you could call any name, but where that philosophy that inspired you, that you being a karma yogi, that is like I'm an instrument, a body of instrument, that everything I'm going to go through the do these actions.
Absolutely. I think, the key word is, like you said, the karma yogi, which is the theory of karma. We have been taught by my father, my mother, right from the beginning when we are growing up, that all the good deeds you do in your life, those are karmas, the good karmas. Because the bad karmas also, some people do that, but all these good karmas will get rewarded. Uh, so you should not, expect that it's going to happen right away. This may happen, tomorrow. It may happen through your life, or maybe in the next life. Even some of the fruits I'm getting now, like you said, mentioned earlier, came from a small village where 400 people are nothing, and come from a very underprivileged family. And luckily now I'm here where I've achieved my American dream, the big homes and big cars, great family, and great life. So it could be the karmas from my previous life, or the one earlier from this life, or some of the good karmas I'm going to do maybe help me in the next life. So we don't worry about it, just keep doing good karma. So it's a theory of karma, and those good deeds. And that not makes you feel good, that you feel gifted. If I'm doing something better than others, my colleagues and other contemporaries, that means you have this higher power helping you. All your karmas which you did previously are helping you. And we believe even your parents, your brothers, your friends, karmas help each other as well. So when you come in their company, so as individuals, as a family, as a community person, it's basically helpful. So keep doing the good karmas, keep doing, so become a karma yogi, and it's always going to be rewarded.
Dr. Japra, you always use that Vasudeva Vaikuntham, that universe is all man. That you literally practiced that. In my view, I witnessed that process. You really embraced the black community, embraced the Chinese community, embraced the Muslim community, even the Buddhist community. Name it, all the Jainist community, Gujarati, all communities you embrace as a unity. That is, unity is a very powerful. Tell us a little bit of that unity feeling for you, that is always that inspired you.
Absolutely, I think the you can really summarize the whole thing. What, like you mentioned, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. And then next is the Loka Samasta Sukhno Bhavantu, which means you want to wish that everybody on this earth should be prosperous, happy, and peaceful. So to do that, you have to practice yourself. To bring practical. Just saying is not enough. So you, in your own dealings with people, you have to really make everybody that they are part of the family. So of course, as an individual, you have to develop yourself. You have to be healthy, happy, prosperous, and if you do that, then you can take care of your family as well. And with your family, then you take care of your society around you, and then the world at large. If you are that fortunate, or you have that kind of resources, then you can help everybody in this world, the whole of humanity as such. If you have that kind of vision, it becomes easy. You may not do the whole thing, you may stop 5%, 10%, and many few people go to 90% or even 100%. So, but you have to keep working at it, keep doing these things, and that's what I means by doing that. So in that, the other ethnicities, other communities, and of course we live. There's a unit for everything. By yourself as a person, you're a unit. First, you have to take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, then there's no point going somewhere else and try to help somebody else. So then, all these other ethnicities, they have their own identity. They want to be within their own community. What if they interact between other communities and learn from each other, help each other? That's even a bigger than just doing karmas for your and your family. Everybody helps themselves, everybody works for themselves, but if you doing things for others, there's no bigger thing than that.
So I wanted to ask you about a little bit of a heart and a health of the Indian, just in general. A lot of foreigners have this cardiovascular problem. What do you think? Is it we don't have this one in India? What do you think, as a doctor who came from India, and your mother, father, you don't have this kind of problems? All of a sudden, we imported this huge cardiovascular problems. What do you think of that? What is the reason you think?
Well, I mean, there risk factor which everybody knows from from your diet, your exercise, and some of the diseases you get. Part of it, I think, the biggest factor once you get the affluence, when you get into the communities who are doing very well, is the stress level. Unfortunately, along with this so-called prosperity comes a lot of stress as well, to how to take care of it. And many people get greedy, and they want to be, in the sense of achievement more and more. They get into a lot more stress at the family level itself, at work level, or their achievement level, which is really, really lethal to for the cardiovascular disease and many other diseases as well, but especially cardiovascular. So I think if we can take care of those things, if you start enjoying your life, my father used to say, you should try to get what you like, otherwise you have to like what you get. So so we want to be in the first phase. Then life becomes a lot easier and lots healthier. You can keep yourself healthy, not just physically, but also mentally, and also your spirit and your soul. I mean, those three things are important. The four things. We used to say that DNA never changes, but now even that can be modified by doing all these things. So if you, as a whole, you take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and with soulfully, I think you can be a great person, healthy person, and all these diseases will stay away from you.
Let us talk about food, Dr. Japra. I used to, you're a community leader. You're being invited by every day some other function, either weddings, and I used to go to Punjabi weddings with you. Is there like a 300 bottles of whiskey there, and then they're all gone in the morning, and then you're controlling such a, then you have a lot of food up there. But one thing I noticed about you is that I learned from you is you don't, when there is a buffet or anything like that, you go there, you have such a control on the food. I usually go there second time, third time. I used to do that. How did you get that control? Where you got that the control from within yourself? Tell us, and we want to learn.
Well, that's sometimes it's difficult, but if your major goal is that you want to stay healthy, happy, prosperous, you have to have discipline. Like you said, the control and discipline is such a it's difficult, but once you start doing it, it becomes part of your nature. Once it becomes part of your nature, like that I can sleep 2 hours, 3 hours, still stay awake, stay healthy, keep
Yeah.
productive about it. I never feel tired, never of those things. At this age, 74, you can keep going like a 30 years old kid going
Yeah.
out there. So those are the things which you develop and you feel good about, and then you become even more disciplined because what you're doing, it's already working for you, and you don't want to change. If uh, and some people gave away, and then they really don't care anymore. But you don't want to get into that stage. So if you start taking yourself and you're feeling good about it, like I said earlier, that's not only taking care of yourself, but your family, your society, and the community at large. then those things become more important than just eating a little extra or drinking a little extra.
Gandhi said that eat to live, live to eat. We're living to eat.
That's right.
Well, so basically when you eat, that you are very disciplined eater. I seen you. It's very simple food you eat, and this is really powerful. That is, in Ayurveda. Let us talk about Ayurveda. Food is a medicine. In Ayurveda, they say so that we need to get back. Even Americans are a lot of that embracing this aspect of food as a medicine. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. In Ayurveda, which is a different branch than what I practice, allopathy and Ayurveda is part of our culture itself. It's not another discipline of medicine. Like you said, in Ayurveda, the food, there's no medicine. Actually, there's food, and food is used as medicine. So it's not just what kind of food you eat, but also how you eat it and with what kind of spirit you eat it. So when you're eating, so it's they call it ahar and vivahar and sanskar. So all those things come into the food habits itself. So you look at the food, you admire the food, you wanna the way you wanna eat it, and each bite you wanna enjoy, uh, and see what it's gonna do for you, whether it's proteins or whether it's fibers or any of these things, the way you want to eat, and that makes your whole body a totally a different accepting part than just gulping something, because you're hungry and you want to eat a big hamburger and then forget about it and eat, those French fries and everything else and gulp it out, and then suddenly you feel like you have to eat more, because you sort of bypassing your taste buds, you bypassing the enjoyment which comes with every sip or every bite. If you don't think about it, then you're going to end up eating differently. So that's what Ayurveda does. So Ayurveda teaches you all those things, and many of the same. That's why these are natural medicines, natural herbs out there. They are just like food, and they become medicinal for you.
My father was practicing. I wanted to ask you that, then from there is a big shift you did to the other side of the story that I told you, second part of my video. You were an entertainer. You brought a lot of entertainment to Silicon Valley from India, all the music and culture and the festivals. What brought you there, from that, what inspired you and brought you at the same time because of the community service as a part of the is a culture is important. He wanted to spread that important culture that is really working very well for us. So that's there's a ancient culture. You want to bring it here. So tell us that experience. If it's
Yep,
just-
absolutely. I think once you're healthy, once you're happy, once you achieve most of the things, the dreams, what do you want to see do next? You want to celebrate. So celebration of life, celebration of everything, what makes you even happier, is interacting with other people, celebrating together, dancing together, listening to the music together, and make sure the whole you're not only getting happy yourself, making everybody else around you happy, whether they can afford it to do that or not. You make them part of those celebrations. So I celebrate a lot of festivals, and fortunately, in our culture, there's so many festivals: Festival of Light, Festival of Colors, and then Independence celebrations, like you mentioned, whether it's red carpet, and we have cinema as such a major player. The music is a huge thing. Different types of music, from classical to semi-classical to folk music to folk dances to Bollywood dances and Bollywood music. So each one of them, brings you different pleasure, different happiness, and that is why we get into it, and people should do it more and more. That will keep them away from depression, from loneliness, and some of these mental illnesses. Otherwise, idle mind is devilish mind. They're gonna get into drugs, into other vandalism, thefts, and everything else. They'll start if you don't do these kind of activities.
One of my Chinese friend told me that, oh my God, I never imagined how many festivals you have Indians. I thought that Chinese have a lot of festivals. I thought, but Indians, you override all of our festivals 10 to 1. He said, I was surprised. But that's so India has such a rich culture and rich heritage there. Then you bought now. You're bringing a lot of Indian movie stars to Silicon Valley. You started a biggest parade in the outside of India. In fact, the largest parade started it. As a Hindu, everybody knows you in this area. So what is this parades you're doing for 25 years, more 30 years actually? You're doing this, bringing Hollywood stars, Bollywood stars, and then politicians. You're bringing all the spectrum of people, the entire community. You're bringing in one place. What that experience, Dr. Japra?
Oh, no, absolutely. Like I said, a celebration of life,
Yes.
and getting these celebrities from different areas. What you mentioned, more you get bigger crowds, more people get together, feel good about it. They have their icons, they have their heroes, their mentors, and many of these people dream to see them, shake hand with them. So that is something, if you can bring it to them, make them feel good. That is again another karma you're doing basically, and that's what I do it, and I feel good about it myself, by be able to do that, be in a position to be able to deliver that to the other people. So that is as important as anything else. So that is the reason I do it. I feel good about it. It's again very gratifying.
Now let us talk about this new. The tomorrow is coming this weekend. A big festival is coming. Festival of Globe. It is India's independence. It's a 2 days festival, right? Explain a little bit about the 2 days of the festival, Dr. Japra.
Absolutely, like you said, this is a 32nd year. I started that. I founded that, but in 1993. Again doing the festival of India, we called it, and then India Day Parade. Now we even call it Festival of Globe or Fog Parade. So it's been growing from 5,000 people. It's grown up to 150,000 people over 2 days now. We used to do a parade in a little corner before. We have these 8 lanes. The main streets of the city of Fremont get closed, and then we have more than 90 entries. We have many of these floats from back home, different states, from north to south, like Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Kutch to Arunachal. They all participate, so they're really decorated with different themes, and right from ancient culture, like you mentioned, ancient religious and ancient architects. So people come up with those kind of themes, which we display and showcase to our next generation who are born here, who have never been back home, and also to the mainstream people. We share it with them by showcasing our culture, our philosophy, our values, our heritage, and the roots where we come from. If those can be shared with everybody else, we learn from each other, and of course we empowering people by imbibing some of those philosophies and values amongst them. So that's the reason, and we started this. So over 2 days, which is going to be this year 17th and 18th, we have more than 1,500 children and youngsters who will be competing in this dance competition, where we have the classical, semi-classical, folk, and Bollywood dances. So we also have more than 130 booths, arts, crafts, food, clothing, jewelry, all kind of booths will be there that I mentioned with 90. And this year we also starting this Freedom Gala, which is going to be like political empowerment, where we're going to invite all these political leaders who pro-Hindu, pro-India, who's going to be empowering our community. They're going to be setting, giving some kind of role models for our community, so that our community gets more involved in public service and political service out there, so they can start making some policies. Otherwise, you just on the menu side, those people make policies, and then you have to, eat whatever they provide you. But if you want to be the policy makers, then you have to be engaged in this and become policymakers yourself, and then only you can really empower your community. So that is the other thing which we have started along with the religious, spiritual, economic, social, and cultural empowerment. We have started this as well.
Dr. Japra, you had an opportunity to become a political leader yourself. How come he did not pursue that process?
Yeah, well, my first love is medicine, and even though my wife doesn't like it when I say that sometime, but I love medicine. Like I've told you, I've been gifted. I have that talent, and I don't want to, misuse, abuse it, or leave it, and then do something else. I'll feel guilty about it. And politics, is important. So I want our community people to get into it. So I have youngsters now. I help them out, mentor them, and encourage them. So we even give our resources to them so that they can get involved while I can keep doing medicine and do this service on the side.
So the festival of 16th is going to be Saturday, 17th is going to be Saturday. All of them are going to be the booths, food festival, food booths all over the ground Fremont Fairgrounds, right?
Yes.
Then there is a lot of cultural festivals. There is a lot of clothes and arts and everything. It's a really fantastic day. 18th is a parade, the floats and everything coming on floats and everything, and then Grand Marshal. Let us talk about Grand Marshal. You are bringing one of the Bollywood stars. Tell us a little bit about her.
Yeah, well, her name is Manisha Korala. She's a superstar, originally from Nepal. She's a Hindu princess from Nepal, moved to Mumbai. She's acted in a lot of good movies out there. Uh, so she has more than 100 movies to her name. And recently, there's even on Netflix, there's a series called Hira Mandi, and she's become very, very popular in that as well. She's a cancer survivor, a great motivator. So we want her to come and, bring the message of empowering democracy, which is very important. That's why we celebrate Independence Day, so that we can remember all the martyrs and all the veterans who sacrificed their lives to get us the freedom, the liberty which we are enjoying today. So we want to make sure that our children and everybody remembers that, and remembering those people inspires you even more to make more sacrifices and become a karma yogi and try to make this world a happier and peaceful world.
Dr. Japra, I know you for a long time. I can tell you, you were very celebratory mood. Celebration is your definition in my view. I never rarely seen you getting upset, but you're always a positive side. Sometimes you can fight with me, but very rarely. But you're always in that calm mode. I get upset, I get up and downs. How do you manage that calm balance? And you are extremely. And another thing, another quality that I saw in you is that I learned and I teach my children is one thing. You never say I don't have time. I never seen you using that word. I people call you all the times and you're all over the place, all over the world probably, and then you get constant invitations, and then sometimes I bother you. How do you manage all these things, and then manage, then you never really, everybody feels that you're very close to everybody. How do you make that happen? In what sense that give you that kind of a strength?
Well, again, you have to have your own discipline. You have to enjoy everything you do, and that's why I try to pick and choose, and I try to prioritize some of the things which I enjoy or I'm gonna like. I don't go run after money. I don't run after fame or power or anything like that. So a balanced life is the most effective
Yeah.
way to enjoy your life. So if you keep the balance in your life, everybody I tell them uh, that's a perfect way to keep yourself healthy, be useful to others, and do become like you feel like a karma yogi, which means you're gonna be calm, quiet, and happy all the time. So if you are in that mode, whether it's you, your family, your friends, even your some enemies, you take it as a challenge. Actually, you do even better. So whenever they have those kind of enemies who don't like you, you try to do even better so that they go away or they don't hate you anymore. So I guess those are the things I can share with everybody. Other than that, sometimes I always believe in luck also. You have to be lucky, and hopefully those good karmas gonna help you. So don't distract yourself. Don't become bad like some of the other bad people, because that'll make you do bad karmas and that'll probably hurt you later on,
Correct.
this life or next life.
Absolutely. So that is so this you're going to have the big parade on Sunday, the on Fremont, right? People can come down. Mata is the best place to use it. To if people around in Silicon Valley, they can come by. Mata is better rather than coming by car. Is there any parking spots available? I'm asking general questions because
Yes,
these
sir.
are all practical questions sometimes.
Yeah. Plenty of parking. It's like I said, the whole all lanes got closed, and we in Fremont we don't. It's not like a city of San Francisco or where you're gonna have parking problem. There are plenty of street parking, shopping malls around. They all have parking. So some of the centers over there, since it's a Sunday, a lot of those centers are closed. Even the Kaiser Center, General motor centers. So there's plenty of parking. Even if you find it a little bit further, walking is good for your health. So I always tell people. So even if you walk a little bit further, just walk. And BART is not too far, like you said. So people, those who don't want to drive, they can always take a BART and come over.
So you have a Hindu temple, you manage a temple of Hindu temple, you're very passionate about it. And then and what is that life and death means to you in that context of Hindu philosophy that you practice?
Well, the same theory of karma, it's like I said, like a set of dresses, as a body. Some people live 50 years, 70 years, 90 years. So, and your soul is always going to be there. So, soul gets out and then gets a new body out there in whatever shape, whether it's animals or human beings, and until you reach your moksha, where you are sort of lean back into the God itself. So we call it Atma and Paramatma. When the Atma leans into Paramatma, and then that's when you do the moksha. That's the ultimate goal of everybody, moksha. But until then, whatever form God has sent you, you have become. You need to go through ups and downs. There's nothing like a straight line going up. So God never wanted you to do that. They always give you challenges so that you have to struggle through those challenges and come through shining. And that is what makes life more interesting. You otherwise it may be too boring if everybody just keeps going up all the time. There's nothing else to do. So that is what our philosophy of religion, Hinduism, teaches us. And losing your life, you're never scared that you're gonna die or anything like that. Though it's hard to do that ultimately, but that is what is taught in Hinduism. Difficult to accept it sometimes, but if you accept it, then it's just life is full of roses all the time. Even the challenges become interesting, and you'll just sail through it.
I'm learning that, Dr. Japra. Absolutely. The fogsv.org, right? The website is a FOG, Festival of Globe Silicon Valley. Fogsv.org is the organization to go into the website and then buy tickets and all those things. Dr. Japra, it is an honor and a you're brother to me. I know you for a long, long, long time when you beginning of your career itself. I know you. So I mean, I'm not. I started already career there in Fremont, but I tell you that is you truly an honor. You're the definition of a celebration of life, and then definition of the karma yogi. You do define both of them, and it is a better lesson. There is no other better lesson than that for all of us. People who are getting older, we are getting really, they want to understand these young people that who are lost. That's kind of a motivation has to be there to do the right things. You are really a mentor for all of us in that sense. Thank you so much for joining us. Any final words, Dr. Japra?
No, no, thank you. I think sharing some of the things, I hope it helps people out there. Like you said, I don't mind coming back and back again and sharing these things which I'm enjoying. I want everybody else to enjoy this theory of karma, the karma yogi, become a karma yogi. That's why all my volunteers, I call them karma yogis. Whether they do a little small things, big things, it doesn't matter. Even small things you are still a karma yogi. So don't feel disheartened that you have not been able to do too much. So start small. Everything starts small. So never get discouraged. Keep doing something or the other for others, but take care of yourself too. Like you mentioned earlier, whether it's food, your habits, your lifestyle, the way you treat and the way you learn. Uh, if you're taking care of yourself, then only you can take care of others, like your family and the society. So
You know,
these things are very important, and that's the first lesson in our dharma and our Hinduism is so as individual as the supreme job and supreme duty. And once you do take care of yourself, you'll be able to take care of others.
it is a privilege. I know your family, you know my family, my children. It is totally privilege. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, honored to have you any day. Thank you so much. You're truly a celebration and a diamond for this community. Thank you so much. I'm going to play the video. That thank you all. Thank you for joining. I don't know where it went. That's the end of the story. And yes. What happened to the video? I'm going to play that video again. That's what I'm trying to do, guys. Let me play that video if I can possibly. Good night, all of you. Come to the festival.
I'm Romesh Japra. Welcome to Festival of Globe Fog.
ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, दुल्हन के माथे की बिंदिया। ये मेरा इंडिया, ये मेरा इंडिया, I love my India.
That is not in India, it is in Silicon Valley. He brought India to Silicon Valley when Silicon Valley is no Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was in essence just a collection of sleepy towns and rural communities far removed from the technological powerhouse it would eventually evolve into. Dr. Romesh Japra, hailing from a humble village in India, embarked on a transformative journey that led him to Fremont, California after completing his cardiology training in the US. His arrival marked a significant turning point for the town as he brought forth the rich tapestry of India's traditions, cultures, and festivals, intertwining them seamlessly into the fabric of American life. Despite encountering discrimination and bias, he remained steadfast in his commitment to practicing cardiology. Dr. Japra has been ranked among top 20% doctors in North America with a specialization in cardiovascular disease and internal medicine. He provided care to a diverse diaspora, including individuals from India, China, Russia, and Afghanistan, and many other countries. Understanding the cultural and religious sensitivities of immigrants, he delivered health care with a profound respect, dignity, and unwavering compassion.
I'm Romesh Japra. I'm a cardiologist. Of course, I have long hours. Usually get up 6 o'clock in the morning, get my workout, have a little breakfast, and come to the hospital where usually I have scheduled patients for procedures, surgeries. The procedures mostly I do is cardiac angiograms or catheterizations, and then they may end up with having angioplasty or stenting. Some of the other procedures we do is the pacemakers, defibrillators. Many times we open up the arteries in the kidney arteries, the peripheral, the leg arteries. So these are the kind of
Japra Mahal, a sprawling mansion constructed from imported marble stones from India, stands majestically amidst a 25-acre vineyard in Fremont. The grandeur is marked by a towering Ganesh statue at the entrance extending warm welcome to visitors. Overlooking the Dumbarton Bridge, which links the towns of Elon Musk's Tesla factory in Fremont and the Silicon Valley investment hub of Menlo Park, Japra Mahal has evolved into a distinguished meeting place for luminaries, diplomats, and entertainers from across the globe. It serves as a hub for a vibrant intellectual discourse and a cultural exchange, fostering connections and collaborations that transcend borders and boundaries. The Festival of Globe, known as the FOG, a non-profit organization, flagship of Dr. Japra, reflects his charismatic, vivacious, and vibrant personality.
We flying high just like a first class flight. Yeah, I'm feeling alright. About to go dynamite. Now go do your thing.